What if the foundation of modern civilization was not built by machines but by an idea? What if the hospitals you trust, systems you follow, and the science you depend on were shaped by a belief system that saw knowledge as sacred? Why did Muslim societies centuries ago lead the world in medicine, mathematics, astronomy, and ethics, while much of the world was still in darkness and dedication? What was that single Islamic idea that turned faith into progress and belief into civilization? Islam didn't just teach people how to pray, it taught them how to think, how to learn, and how to serve humanity. When knowledge becomes worship, civilization doesn't collapse, it rises. This is the idea that quietly built the modern world. Islam reshaped the meaning of knowledge from the very beginning. Learning was not treated as a luxury, a hobby, or a tool for personal gain. It was added to an act of worship. Seeking knowledge became a way to draw closer to God because understanding creation was seen as a part to recognize. Muslims were taught that reflection, observation, and critical thinking were not threats to faith but expressions of it. This mindset produced generations of scholars who believed that ignoring the world around them was a form of ingratitude. Knowledge carried responsibility, and with responsibility came discipline, humility, and purpose. Because knowledge was worshipped, Muslim scholars did not pursue learning for fame or dominance. Their intention was service. They believed every discovery was a trust, and every skill carried accountability. This is why ethics were inseparable from education. A scholar was judged not only by intelligence but by character. Learning without moral guidance was considered dangerous, while morality without knowledge was considered incomplete. This balance created a civilization where faith gave direction and reason built the path forward. Faith and intellect were never rivals, they were partners. Religion answered the question of why. Religion explored the question of how. Together they produced sustainable progress. Education was never restricted to elites. Knowledge was meant for everyone. Men and women, rich and poor, men and women with courage to learn. Mosques became centers of discussion. Libraries became public institutions, and hospitals became places of teaching as well as healing. Learning was open, shared, and constantly evolved. Debate was welcomed, not feared. This culture of critical thinking, society intellectually alive and prevented stagnation. Knowledge was not preserved to be annoying, it was improved to be used. Ethics always came before power, and profit. Muslim scholars understood that knowledge gives influence, and influence without morality is to corruption. This is why scientific progress was guided by ethical division. In medicine, dignity was sacred, consent mattered, compassion was essential. Doctors were accountable not only to society but to God. In trade and mathematics, accuracy and honesty were moral obligations, not optional values. Science was never pursued simply because nothing was possible because it was. Every discovery raised the question of impact. Would this serve humanity or harm it? Science in Islamic civilization was built to serve people, not control them. Innovation focused on improving daily life, reducing suffering, and creating balance. Hospitals were designed to care for all, regardless of wealth. Water systems were built for sustainability. Architecture considered comfort, light, and accessibility. Develop. Scholars did not chase short-term results. They built systems meant to last generations. This forward-looking mindset came from the belief, not came from the belief that action has some consequences. And the leaders learned that beyond the one year after. Observing life, time, the human body, and the universe was considered reflection on divine science. studied vision, optics, astronomy, and mathematics not out of curiosity alone but out of reverence. Understanding how the eye sees light or how stars move strengthened faith rather than weakening it. Experimentation, observation, and documentation became standard practices. These methods, less recent methods later, became the foundation of modern science, even though some that far went further. Over time, this extraordinary legacy faded from popular history. As power shifted, narratives changed, ideas survived, but names disappeared. Contributions were absorbed into global knowledge while their sources were disconnected from the root. This forgetting created a false choice in the modern world. Faith or progress. Islamic civilization never accepted that choice. It proved that belief and advancement can grow together. When science loses it becomes destructive. When it is destructive, when religion loses reason, it becomes rigid. Balance is what builds civilizations. This legacy is not a story of nostalgia or superiority. It is a lesson. It shows what happens when knowledge has purpose, when learning is tied to responsibility, and when progress is guided by values. Decline did not come from lack of ability, but from forgetting the ideas that once gave direction. Capability still exists. What is often missing is intention. When knowledge is reduced to degrees, careers, and profit, its higher purpose disappears. Islam gave knowledge a mission to recognize truth and serve humanity. If one idea could turn faith in learning, learning into service and servicing when decision, then the real question is not what happened in the past. The knowledge is still here. The principles still work. The legacy is not lost. It is waiting to be remembered, revived, and lived.